Hello, happy Monday, and welcome to your Newsmax Daily for November 25th, 2024. Hope you had a fantastic weekend, and as usual, on Monday, half the country is happy, half the country is not, right? Especially college football fans. Wow. Some major upsets again over the weekend, or, surprising upsets. If you're a fan of women's soccer, the other football, the Orlando Pride won the National Women's Soccer League Championship here in Orlando on Saturday night with a 1-0 victory over the Washington Spirit.
The Orlando Pride have won the NWSL Championship! They have done it!
So congratulations to the Orlando Pride. It was a big weekend here in Orlando. Plus, the Miami Dolphins and Tampa Bay Buccaneers both won. The Florida Gators beat Ole Miss, one of the surprising college football upsets. Today is the 330th day of the year. It is going by quick as we kick off Thanksgiving week and the holiday travel season. Christmas Day is exactly a month from today. And if your travels take you in or out of Charlotte, as I know it does for some who listen to the podcast regularly, airport service workers there, the people that escort handicapped passengers, clean the planes, remove trash, all that sort of stuff, specifically for American Airlines at Charlotte International, are now on strike, saying they need to get paid more. So heads up for that. CLT, if you don't know, is a major hub for American Airlines, and you may have a connecting flight through Charlotte, even though you're listening to me and you're thinking, I'm not going to Charlotte, but you very well could have a connecting flight through Charlotte if you're flying American. If you're heading to New York's JFK International today, which is already a traffic nightmare, President Biden and Air Force One are also headed there, so you can expect even more delays and problems getting in and out and around JFK. The president is headed to Staten Island specifically, where he'll serve food and deliver remarks at a Coast Guard Friendsgiving event and cause more traffic problems there on Staten Island. This after he participated in the annual pardoning of the Thanksgiving turkey event at the White House this morning. On Wall Street in New York City, stock markets picking up where they left off on Friday today, as the investment community seems pleased with President-elect Donald Trump's weekend selection of veteran hedge fund manager Scott Bessent as Treasury Secretary. Bessent said he'll focus on following through on Trump's pledges to cut taxes and implement tariffs. It was a busy weekend for Donald Trump, also naming Brooke Rollins, president of the America First Policy Institute, to be Agriculture Secretary. She worked in the administration during Trump's first presidency. He also named former NFL player Scott Turner, who also worked in his first administration, to lead the Department of Housing and Urban Development. That's HUD, succeeding Dr. Ben Carson, which got me thinking, where is Ben Carson? Is he going to have a new position? I haven't heard anything from Ben Carson or have heard Donald Trump mention his name. And if not, is it because he doesn't want to be a part of the team? Last week, he said he was going to be meeting with Trump this week, so I'll be looking out for that. President-elect Trump also picked Oregon Congresswoman Lori Chavez DeRaymer as Labor Secretary. And we heard from the outspoken border czar, Tom Homan, again this weekend.
The man tapped by President-elect Trump to reestablish the integrity of our immigration laws and our borders is Tom Homan, and he joins me now. Mr. Homan, thank you so much for making time for us this morning. You are going to be tasked with doing something that perhaps no government official in this country's history has ever had to do. How do you even begin to tackle a challenge like this?
Well, look, we're going to enforce the law. This administration, the Biden administration, have refused to enforce the law. As a matter of fact, you got a federal judge in Texas that said not only they ignoring the law, they're actively violating the law by releasing millions of people in this country over the abuse of the parole program. So we're going to basically enforce the law. There's three rails that we're concentrating on right now. Number one, secure the border, shut the border down. Number two, do a deportation operation. And third, look for 300,000 missing children that this administration allowed to be trafficked into the United States, released to unvetted sponsors they can't find. So day one, this all starts.
Yeah, and I think the issue of the children, the missing children, is something that hasn't gotten a lot of attention. Mr. Homan, how do we know how many criminal aliens there are who either should be deported based on crimes they've committed here or elsewhere? And will those folks be the first targets of the deportation effort?
Absolutely. President Trump's been very clear that public safety threats and national security threats are going to be the priority right out of the gate, along with the fugitives. The fugitives, what I mean is the over 1 million illegal aliens in this country who had due process at great taxpayer expense were ordered removed by an immigration judge, but defied that order and became fugitives. So, yeah, we're going to concentrate on the worst first, public safety threats. And we know there's well over 1 million of them. That's what we know about. And there's a lot we don't know because we got over 2 million gotaways, 2 million known gotaways under this administration. Wow. And these are people that paid more to get away because they didn't want to be vetted. They didn't want to be fingerprinted. So these are going to be trouble cases. They can be people from terrorist-sponsored country. They could be gang members. They could be people that are sex trafficking women and children. They could be the ones carrying fentanyl. And they can be the bad guys. So we got to uncover who these 2 million people are and try to find them also.
Mr. Homan, there has been discussion about activating the military in some form, in some capacity, to assist federal law enforcement with deportations. Now, you know that that's going to generate comments from the media and the left and say, see, we told you Trump is a fascist. He's putting the military on our streets. How do you deal with the optics associated with a large-scale deportation regime so that you can hold on to the public's support and trust on these matters?
Well, first of all, I don't care what the media thinks. I mean, they're already doing hit pieces of me every day. I don't care. I'm going to do this job. You're not going to bully me. You're not going to silence me. You're not going to make me go away. We're going to do this job. But look, I think we need to be very transparent with the American people when this operation happens. I think we need to have a weekly press conference from the White House and explain exactly what we're doing, who we're arresting, and who are these people, and what crimes these people have committed, either in this country or abroad, and be very clear to American people, because the left is going to try to skew everything we do. They're going to try to capture the first female or child crying during operations. They're going to make this sound like a racist, inhumane operation. I guarantee you this operation is going to be a targeted, well-planned operation, and it's going to be humane. Look, we can't ignore the fact that these people came across that border illegally, which is a crime. It's a crime to enter the country illegally, and made a false claim to asylum. Millions of false claims to asylum. 9 out of 10 people who came across and claimed asylum, 9 out of 10 will end up with an order removal because they simply don't qualify for asylum. That's and right. What do I base it on? I base it on 10 years of immigration court data. So, look, we got to have consequences. If we don't have consequences, you're never going to solve the border crisis. It's not going to happen.
You have to have consequences or things are not going to change. That's Border Czar Tom Homan on America Right Now with Tom Basile. And this is what he said about the liberal governors that are promising to stand in his way.
What is your message to mayors and governors who are threatening that kind of physical standoff with you and federal law enforcement officials?
Game on. That's what happens. Game on. Because you know what? We've explained, the president, myself, Steve Miller, we've all explained that public safety threats will be the priority right out of the gate. What elected mayor or governor doesn't want public safety threats removed from their communities? Think about that. Their number one responsibility to their constituency is to protect them. We want to focus on the worst of the worst, and they're going to stand in our way. Well, I'll say this. Either help us or get out of the way, because now I want them to be aware of a couple of things. Don't step over a line, because there's a line they can't cross, and that is don't impede us. Don't impede us, actively impede us, because that is a crime. And do not knowingly harbor and conceal an illegal alien from ICE, because that's a crime. So, you know, you can not help all you want. You can disagree with this operation, but you have limitation what you can do. Don't cross that line.
Newsmax host Tom Basile with newly appointed border czar of the incoming Trump administration, Tom Homan. With more on President-elect Trump and immigration, this is Lidia Curanaj on yesterday's Sunday agenda. I'm picking it up with Lidia talking about people being brainwashed during the pandemic.
Thank God the American people, they woke up and they refuse to be played for a fool anymore. We've been played for fools, not us, but a lot of people out there for years, right? They kept telling us that Joe Biden was great, but we were telling you that he was unfit to be president. And it wasn't until that debate that the world saw that he wasn't fit to even drive down to the local ice cream parlor. And then after authorizing Ukraine to use long-range missiles provided by the United States, look at this video right there. That guy, move your head, that camera guy right there. Biden refuses to answer reporter questions, right? And there he goes off into the distance. He disappears into the Amazonian rainforest. That guy's not in charge. Who is running the country? Then, during the Boston Celtics visit to the White House to celebrate their NBA championship win, Biden doesn't even know who the guys are behind him.
2024 NBA champions, the Bulls. You're Celtics, right?
That wasn't a joke. That wasn't a joke. He didn't know who they were. Think about it. This guy, he has the nuclear codes, whose every move now seems to bring us closer and closer to the brink of another world war. Ukraine's ex-top general now saying that World War III has already begun. Russian President Vladimir Putin now saying he has a quote, stock of new missiles ready to be used, and that no other nations have weapons like ours. Who is running the show here, guys? In the Middle East, tensions also escalating after the International Criminal Court issued arrest warrants for Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu over alleged war crimes. They're ratcheting up this rhetoric, escalating tensions. Meantime, at home, look at this. We got violent illegal aliens. They laugh in our faces as they continue to rob, steal, and kill us. That guy, he's a suspected Tren de Aragua gang member accused of robbing and exposing himself to a Manhattan district attorney in her apartment. Cops arrested him 5 times since he got here about a year ago, yet he remains free, living it up in a fancy Midtown hotel, all on the taxpayer dime. Likely the same Midtown hotel where Laken Riley's killer, Jose Ibarra, that guy right there, where he stayed. And despite Jose also committing crimes right here in New York City, sanctuary city laws prevented ICE from detaining him. Laken, the beautiful 22-year-old Georgia nursing student, she should be alive today. She would be alive today if not for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's reckless open border policies. They have blood on their hands, yet they refuse to say her name. Joe tried to say it, but called her Lincoln, but I digress. ICE has already identified an estimated 662,000 criminal illegals. Of those, approximately 435,000 are convicted criminals, and 226,000 have pending criminal charges. These are the criminal illegal aliens that we know of. I mean, they're all criminals because they all broke the law to get here, but these are the violent ones. So then, can someone explain to me why anyone would be against Trump's mass deportation plan that would focus first and foremost on criminal illegal aliens? Yet day after day, Democrat leaders across the country are vowing to defy federal orders.
What we can do is make sure that we are doing our part to protect our residents in every possible way, that we are not cooperating with those efforts that actually threaten the safety of everyone by causing widespread fear.
I'm going to do everything that I can to protect our undocumented immigrants, the residents of our state.
Would the Massachusetts State Police assist in mass deportations?
No, absolutely not.
We will not be participating in misguided efforts that harm our communities. And I've been incredibly clear about that. People hiding in fear, we saw that under previous state policies here, and it harms communities.
They're putting illegal alien lives before American lives. That guy right there, he's the mayor of Denver. He's a Democrat, Mike Johnson. He's saying tens of thousands of Denver residents would now mobilize against the federal government, protect the illegals, saying, quote, this is a true quote from this Denver mayor. He said, it's like the Tiananmen Square moment with the rose and the gun, right? You'd have every one of those Highland moms who came out for the migrants and you don't want to mess with them. What? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Wow. And so all of you Democrat sympathizers for the illegals, you care so much about the illegals, yet where is your concern over their children, right? Where's the outcry? Where's AOC crying in her hands, right? An estimated 325,000 migrant children have gone missing. Could they be sex trafficked? We don't know where they are. And the Biden-Harris regime, it continues to stonewall efforts into even finding out what happened to them. What are they hiding? Human trafficking, make no mistake, is now a full-fledged epidemic.
Newsmax host Lidia Curanaj on Sunday Agenda. And don't forget, new border czar Tom Homan will be getting some help, most likely, from the new Attorney General. This is Mercedes Schlapp, who says Homan isn't the only new sheriff in town.
Oh, it's a good day in America. Well, Trump wasted no time picking a new Attorney General after the Washington establishment forced Matt Gaetz into withdrawing his name from consideration yesterday. But much like Gaetz, Trump's new nominee is also a D.C. wrecking ball. D.C., meet Pam Bondi, the tough-on-crime Florida Attorney General who's taken on the Biden regime every step of the way. She's about to be the new sheriff in town, barring any more funny business, well, from some of the Republicans in the Senate. Of course, Trump announcing his decision on Truth Social just a few hours after Gaetz dropped out, saying in part, for too long, the partisan Department of Justice has been weaponized against me and other Republicans. Not anymore. Pam will refocus the DOJ to its intended purpose of fighting crime and making America safe again. When MSNBC caught wind of the news, it was instant regret, which means it was a good pick by Trump. Political commentator Jason Johnson describing her like this.
Pam Bondi is exactly what I was saying in the last segment that we should all fear, because she's competent. We may not agree with her ideologically, but she actually knows how to do this job. She is a dangerous and effective pick, and that's frankly worse than what we would have got with Matt Gaetz.
Virginia, being a woman attorney general, Pam Bondi, I've known her for years, so strong, such an incredible communicator, really just understands what the fight is right now. Your thoughts on the fact that even the Democrats are saying, wow, effective pick.
Well, and I think we may even see, hold your breath, we may even see a few Democrats that say, yeah, this was a good choice, and I'll back her as far as those senators. But, she was a prosecutor for nearly 20 years, and at a moment in history where the American people are so concerned over rising crime, I think Americans are really excited to see someone that has shown that record of being so tough on crime. And of course, exciting to see someone who has the record that she has stepping into this role.
That's Virginia Allen from the Daily Signal with Mercedes Schlapp, Chris Plante, and the rest of the Right Squad. You can catch them tonight, 10 o'clock Eastern on Newsmax. Chris Plante and the Right Squad. Senator Lindsey Graham, the incoming chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, when Republicans officially take control of the Senate in January, who I don't think was really that much in favor of Matt Gaetz, tweeted, Pam Bondi is a slam dunk, touchdown, hole-in-one, hat trick, and then used slam dunk again. So I'm guessing he likes her, and I'm guessing Lindsey Graham is a sports fan. This is Republican strategist Tricia McLaughlin.
She's the first female attorney general in Florida. She's known to be highly competent. She's been a highly effective spokesperson for Donald Trump. So, I think she's going to definitely have a pathway to confirmation, and I think she will absolutely act in a loyal way.
It was a busy weekend on the international front as well. Hezbollah bombarded Israel with rockets over the weekend in retaliation for an Israeli airstrike on Beirut that officials claim killed 29 people. This while international diplomats continue pushing for a ceasefire. And Russia unleashed a drone strike in Ukraine near the capital city of Kyiv over the weekend as that war has surpassed 1,000 days. We talked about that last week with Rob Finnerty. Actually, Ukraine and Russia were exchanging drone strikes over the weekend. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is in Rome, Italy today for a G7 meeting and a visit to the World Food Program. That's the UN and the world's largest humanitarian organization headquartered in Rome.
What we're seeing around the world is, of course, conflict driving food insecurity, but also food insecurity driving conflict.
We are certainly seeing that cause and effect in Gaza, right? And Antony Blinken just can't wait for it to be over. Not only the war, of course, but his role as Secretary of State. And I can't say I blame him. MSNBC is trending today for a variety of reasons, but as ratings plummet, the network is slashing Rachel Maddow's ridiculous salary from $30 million a year to a ridiculous $25 million a year. And I'm sure it's more fodder than anything else, but Elon Musk has been busy on Twitter over the weekend and this morning about buying MSNBC and firing Maddow. And of course, the Morning Schmo show remains under fire there as well. I'm guessing they would probably all be fired, but wouldn't it be awesome to see Lawrence O'Donnell or Joyless Reed working for Elon Musk? So, as I said, President Biden has pardoned the White House turkey by the time you have heard this and is headed to Staten Island, New York. President-elect Trump and his transition team continue their work. Bitcoin is pushing $100,000. Stock markets are in the green, and you'd likely have a short work week. And again, heads up if you're traveling to Charlotte or JFK today. Be sure to keep up with all of the news and breaking developments throughout the day. There'll be plenty of them right here on Newsmax, N2, and Newsmax.com. Beginning with Wake Up America, American Agenda, Carl Higbee, Greta Van Susteren, Rob Schmidt tonight, Finnerty, Chris Salcedo, Ed Henry, and many, many others with expert analysis from people like Governor Mike Huckabee, Rick Santorum, Judge Napolitano, political analyst Mark Halpern, Alan Dershowitz, and many others. I'm Tony Marino. This is the Newsmax Daily. Thank you, as always, for listening. Enjoy the rest of your day, and keep on fighting the good fight.
News breaks every minute, every day. You need the app, the Newsmax app. Find it free on your smartphone store. Then watch us anytime, anywhere.
Hey, it's Jerry Callahan from The Callahan Show. You can listen to us every day. We react to the latest news, politics, sports, and all the madness in the world. I'll give you my opinion with a little edge, a little attitude. I'm an unapologetic right-winger, trapped behind enemy lines in deep blue Boston, so I'm used to taking on the mainstream media mob. You can hear us anywhere you get your podcast, or you can listen every day at newsmax.com/listen.
Information. Truth is freedom.